welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today I want to get into I got three quick topics I want to kind of talk about, and this is what we're kind of looking at for today's episode. We want to do a Super Bowl recap. I mean, I know majority of you guys out there is happy that the Chiefs lost, probably. But I'm just shocked the way that game went. I'm not gonna lie. I had Philly winning, but I was very shocked on how they won and how that game turned out. Really. Um, my next question is: after watching the Super Bowl, how far are the Steelers away? How far you think the Steelers are away from maybe being Super Bowl champs one day? And getting that number 7 trophy. I don't know, but just want to kind of talk about that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just some Steeler news, which are called Steelers chatter. It's just some news. There's some rumors and stuff that's been going around, and just kind of want to address some of that stuff and talk about a few of those things that's going on right now. But with that said, let's get into this and let's see what we got here. Um, Okay, sorry about that. So, man, I mean, as you can see what I wrote on here, the Eagles they beat the brakes off the Chiefs. I mean, I was shocked. I thought Philly would win this game, but I did not see it going down like how it went down. I did not see that. I think a lot of people didn't see that. Um, it was a total domination. It kind of reminded me of when Tampa Bay beat the Chiefs a few years ago. Is I mean, they made oh man, they made the Chiefs look like the Steelers. I mean, their offense was terrible. They couldn't. The Philadelphia defensive line just dominated Kansas City's offensive line from the starting of the game to the final tick. And Mahomes, hey, he couldn't do nothing. He's out there running for his life. And that's the thing. If you get a quarterback running for his life, he can't be trying to complete passes and do all the other stuff that he's been doing. Um, it was a weird game, man. I mean, like I say, nobody's seen that. No, nobody can say they seen that coming. I mean, they were on Mahomes like he stole something, you know. But hey, I mean that's the game now. You gotta have you got to be dominant in both, defensive line and offensive line. It's the football. Football is actually a simple sport. And it's always been about if you can dominate the defensive line and you can dominate the offensive line, then on top of that, you got that quarterback back there that can deliver the ball on time and put the ball in tight spaces and can push the ball downfield. You're gonna win a lot of games, and that's on all levels. That's high school, college, pros. It doesn't change. And that's what Philly did. I mean, because Kansas City came in and they basically was like, hey, Saquon is not going to beat us, and they basically shut Saquon down. I mean, he didn't really hurt them that bad, but they concentrated so much on stopping the run. The other guys, I mean, because I mean, Philly got two good receivers, not just one. I mean, they got two good receivers, and if you playing those guys one on one, they're going to get behind you, and that's what they did. And Jalen Hurts, he just let the game come to him, took what they gave him, and played a solid game, and they made plays, and like I say, hey, they beat the socks off them boys. And I mean, they were physical. They were smacking Mahomes around. I mean, hey, that was that was a big surprise. That was a big surprise. Like I say, I didn't see that game. I mean, I have, like I say, I had Philly, but I did not see it going down like that. But hey, it was a good Super Bowl. Um, I enjoyed it. You know, so my thing is, the NFL is a copycat league, so you're going to see teams that's going to try to make their team like the Philadelphia Eagles and have a dominant offensive line, dominant defensive line, and above average quarterback. Get a good running game going, and that's what people think they can do. And I'm happy for Jalen Hurts. I mean, he won the MVP, got him a championship. Seems to be a real humble guy. So because there's a lot of people, you know, it was talking, hey, he ain't that good, this and that, but he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I mean, is he elite? No, he's not one of the elite guys, but he showed you don't necessarily got to be this elite guy to win. I mean, if you got a good offense, you're in a good offense, good offensive line, good defense, you can get some things. You can get some things done in this league. So, how far are the Pittsburgh Steelers away from getting to the Super Bowl? And we would look and you would say, man, they are light years away. But if you look at the Steelers, the Steelers are trying to build their team up, kind of like the Eagles. Um, Trying to build that offensive line up, which they still got some work to do there. Defensive line or their defensive front, when you add TJ and Highsmith to that, it's not very bad. But they need to get younger because um, Hayward he he was unbelievable this past season, but he's 36. So you know how much he has left in the tank, who knows? But you can't really expect to have that type of play, you know, next year like how he played this year. Just don't know. So they definitely need to get younger, and I think that they're going to address that in the draft. Um, Quarterback situation still needs to be figured out. I mean, what you gonna do with Russ? What you gonna do with Fields? And as we go, talk about this a little later on, in this podcast, I'm going to kind of put my thoughts out as far as what I think they're gonna do with these quarterbacks. So, but that needs to be figured out. The offensive line needs to be figured out. I mean, you got some young guys that just, hopefully they keep developing. Get some guys back from injury, and I think in free agency, I would like to see the Steelers um maybe sign a big time guard. I did like Trey Smith from Kansas City, but man, they really whooped on him in the Super Bowl too. But I, you know, I still take him. I mean, maybe you could use that game against him a little bit and save a little money off of him. But yeah, man, he got he got destroyed also, but um, I'm sorry, I'm just being silly. But that game was unbelievable. Anyway, um, I like to see the Steelers got to get that offensive line together. So they still got some they still got a little ways to go as far as seeing they could get to the Super Bowl. But I think they got pieces. I'm kind of concerned about the coaching a little bit. That's a big part of it too. I mean, you can get to all the players, but if you ain't got the coaching, it don't matter. And you know, I think that's kind of a issue here in Pittsburgh too. But that's for another day. All right, so let's get into our Steelers chatter. And so this episode, right? I mean, this part of it was just about some rumors that's going around and some things that's not rumors that actually happened, and kind of talk about that stuff. So, the first thing, is it Russ or is it Fields? Um, let's talk about Russ first, because I think Russ is really the easy one. I truly believe if the Steelers want Russ back, they can get him. I mean, obviously they're gonna have to work on the money, and they're gonna have to meet somewhere with the money. I've been hearing like 30 million a year and all that. I don't think Russell Wilson gonna ask for that, but I don't know. So, but I think because Russ want to be back, and like I say, at this point in his career, Russ is trying to make sure he get in the Hall of Fame. And probably the last thing he really want to do is be bouncing around from team to team, moving his family and all that crap. So I think Russ would want to be here if the Steelers want him. So um, we'll see how that go. But uh, I don't think it's really be an issue bringing Russ back. Now, Fields. So as you know, they can sign Fields, Russ anytime they want. I mean, they could sign him tomorrow if they want to, because you can sign your own free agents. So you would think if they wanted Fields back so bad, they could just sign him, and it's not going to be a big contract. They could sign him, but I think the problem is I think Justin Fields wants to test free agency, and I actually believe it's going to be some people out there that's going to try to get him. And I'm just going to bring up two teams. Let's go down to New Orleans. So you just hired um young coach, Philadelphia's Kellen Moore, offensive minded coach. You see the offense that he ran with Justin Fields. I mean, excuse me, with Hurts. So you would think he's going to run that with Fields. You got a Olave down there. They got some pieces. Now the problem is the Saints really don't have any money. They so far over the cap that I don't know what they could work out. But with that said, if I'm Justin Fields, I look at, do I maybe go with a young minded coach that I feel like runs a up to date offense, or do I come back to Pittsburgh where they want to really kind of be run first and don't do too much, don't turn over the ball and all this stuff, and let's keep it close and we'll win it with our defense and to be honest, do you got a head coach that meddles with the offense and kind of preaches that? At the end of the day, you did bench me. I mean, even though Fields kind of, he took the high road and he said the right things and said he didn't play good enough. But at the end of the day, they did bench me. He's probably looking at. So, do Fields really want to come back here? That's my question. Do he really want to come back to Pittsburgh? But you know, who knows? Then let's go to the New York Jets. I know everybody say, "Oh, the Jets, they a dumpster fire," and they most of the time they are. But you have a young offensive coordinator there that was an understudy of Ben Johnson, and if people could say anything, you could say you would watch the Detroit Lions because they were fun on offense. All the different stuff they did, all the trick plays, and just the way they ran their offense. I mean, just when they played football, they ran no offense. On the Jets, you got a big time receiver in Garrett Wilson. Even though he was saying he wanted to be out of New York, but I think with Rodgers gone, I think that's probably in he probably feels a little better in staying, especially if he know they can get Fields in there. He ain't going nowhere. Got Brees Hall, big time running back, decent offensive line. They still need to fix some things. Great defense. You got a head coach that I think. I mean, he's going to be more on the defensive side, but I mean, he watched Dan Campbell, so he's going to probably take the CEO type of way of doing things and kind of let his coordinators do their thing. And like I say, he's going to be more on the defensive side anyway. He ain't going to mess with that offense. I mean, he trusts that guy. He brought him in, and he's going to let him do his job. And like I say, he's seen how stuff went in Detroit, and he know we're gonna have an offense that's gonna put points on the board, and our defense, hey, not gonna be that much pressure on us. That hey, we can be aggressive. If we end up giving up a play, hey, so be it, because our offense is gonna score. So, with that said, I just think it's not a it's just not a done deal that Justin Fields want to even come back to Pittsburgh. But you know, we'll see. Um, we got a new defensive back coach, Coach Alexander. He was with the Steelers a few years ago, left and went to be the safety coach with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now he's back. The one positive thing I can say, um, Fitzpatrick had his best season as a Steeler under his tutelage. So hopefully he can maybe get Fitzpatrick back where he needs to be. But it's not a move that I mean it's I guess it was needed, but not something that I'm really excited about. They let the previous defensive back coach contract ran out. Guess they just said, hey, he was under par and they let him go. So we'll see. So it's been reported that Pat Myers, the offensive line coach, will be retained. Okay. So, granted, the offensive line did have injuries. The offensive line did have to start two rookies, basically. So, yeah, you knew you was gonna have some growing pains. Um, I just see too many mental mistakes, especially from Broderick Jones. Your both of your tackles, they were 1 and 2 and giving up sacks. True, the end of the year, by the end of the year, Mason McCormick was just he was done. I mean, he had hit that rookie wall. He had hit the whatever other wall you think of. He was terrible. It's some plays you just see him going around in a circle, like a top or something. Broderick Jones pulling the wrong way, and just it was just terrible. And so, me personally, I think at some point you have to look at your coach. And granted, the players got to do what they have to do, and I get that. But sometimes you have to look at the coach, and maybe having a new voice it helps sometimes. So I guess now Pat Myers know, hey, this is it. I'm on my last year of my contract, so I need to figure this out, or he's gonna be out of there. But again, that's the Steelers. They don't want to fire no coach and still have to pay him and all this stuff, and unfortunately, it ain't like he would have got fired from the Steelers and probably went somewhere else. So he probably would have set out this year. So they probably would have had to pay him, and the Steelers don't want to pay nobody that ain't working. So not really happy about this, but hey, it is what it is, and hey, we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I thought they would go in another direction here, but they didn't. So that was it. Now, little rumors going around here. I don't know how true this stuff is. Um, it's reported that the Pittsburgh Steelers called the Jacksonville Jaguars just to see if they were maybe want to trade Trevor Lawrence, or is he on the market or whatever. I think Jacksonville shut it down, but to me, the fact of them doing that again, if I'm Justin Fields, that kind of make me really think I'm gonna look elsewhere. But who knows? Um, I mean, man, you had to give up a lot to get Lawrence, but I think the kid can play. But hey, who knows? Again, just kind of very, this is interesting. And like I say, it, not so much with Russ, but with Fields, I'm kind of looking at that like, you know what? I'm kind of cool on y'all. I'm gonna look somewhere else. Um, Aaron Rodgers was rumored because him and Tomlin got that bro thing. But I don't want no parts of Aaron Rodgers, and it's sad to say because I think he could still play, especially if you put the weapons around him. Because it ain't too many people who can throw the ball like Aaron Rodgers. Even at his advanced age, he can throw that rock. There ain't no defense that you can put out there that's gonna trick him. He's gonna make plays, but it's all the other stuff that he brings, all the off the field stuff. He ain't gonna come to the OTAs. He gonna be in some cave somewhere doing whatever he's doing in the cave. Um, it's just not gonna work. It wouldn't work. And you hear a lot of media guys say, "Well, Mike Tomlin is the type coach that Aaron Rodgers need, and Tomlin would control him." No, he wouldn't. Mike Tomlin can't even control George Pickens. He definitely ain't gonna get Aaron Rodgers to do nothing. I mean, let's just keep it with it. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Mike Tomlin would not control Aaron Rodgers, and I think he would rip this team apart. Now, a guy that I would love to see here is Matthew Stafford. Unfortunately, maybe for what it would maybe cost to trade for him and get him here for his age, might not be worth it. But all I know is Matthew Stafford can still play. And if people remember, if it wasn't for a miss block assignment, um, the Los Angeles Rams may have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles, and so they definitely would have gotten to that would have put them in the championship game. And who knows? I think the Rams probably would have beat the Commanders. And so Matthew Stafford could have maybe been in the Super Bowl this year. I still think he can play. I mean, he it's just unfortunate with him. He started off in Detroit and all that stuff, and but I mean, he's throwing the no look passes, doing all that stuff. I mean, he can ball to me, but again, I don't know if it's really worth it, at his advanced age. But with that said, that's pretty much it. That is it for now. And we got some mock drafts coming out. We have it'll be 2.0. We already did our first one, so if you go back a few episodes, you can look at our first mock draft. And I'm gonna be doing another one, and that probably gonna be out on Saturday. And we'll see how that goes, and see if any more Steeler news comes out. Any more rumors comes out, and that's pretty much it. So until next time, I will talk to you guys later.